Hello, my cosmic friends. Welcome back to my channel, Just K-Pop Tarot, where I talk just about K-pop. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Cosmos. Nice to meet you. If you are new, if you're one of my subscribers, welcome back. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. In this channel, like I said, I only talk about K-pop. I use the tarot and oracle decks to help me learn more about a group, individual idols, the company, the industry as a whole. Okay, today I am going to focus on one group. Today I will talk about RIIZE. RIIZE, which by the way stands for Rise and Realize, is a K-pop boy band with now 6 members. It started out as 7, but now they have 6. The current members are Shotaro, Unsuk, Seunghan, Wonbin, Seunghan, and Antoine. If I said their name wrong, I'm sorry, okay? When RIIZE debuted back on September 4, 2023, like I said, there were 7 members. Seunghan was part of the group, but basically he was bullied out of the group. Not by the members, but by the fandom. You can look that scandal up. The quick version of it is basically, there were videos and photos about Seunghan before he debuted. He had the main one that pissed off the fandom was him having a girlfriend. Oh my god, the delusional fans went nuclear. They sent funeral wreaths to SM Entertainment. They were boycotting the group. It was a mess. And like I said, they basically bullying him out of the group. So yeah, Seunghan has now debuted as a soloist. So that's why the group is 6. And like I said, that was a quick version of that. If you want to learn and make your own decision about that, just look it up, okay? And oh boy, you will see. Okay, I'm gonna put this here in case I need to look it up. I do not follow RIIZE, so I don't know all of the members. So also sometimes with group readings, one member may have a lot to say, one member may have nothing to say at all. It happens, okay? So it's not me being biased, but I'm just letting you know. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to start off with your current energy and see what we can learn from there. So RIIZE, what is your current energy? Thank you. And this one. I just heard it's a little bittersweet. Like I said, RIIZE stands for Rise and Realize, right? And they rose, from being rookies to a debuted group. They were doing good. But then, somebody, oh, by the way, it was later on found out that it was a friend of Seunghan's. We don't know which one exactly, but it was a friend that leaked out all of those videos and photos before his debut. So yeah, that happened with Seunghan, and in spite of that big, tribulation, I guess I could call it, they're still here. Their group is successful. Some might say somewhat successful. It depends on every person's point of view, but it's still a little bittersweet. It looks like some of the members, they're still not over what happened with Seunghan. And yes, I haven't looked at the cards, but I am picking up on that, so I'm letting you know. And also, look at this candle right here, this one. That candle in specific, I lit it up for RIIZE as a group, to connect better with them, and also to wish them good things, prosperity, health, happiness, whatever they need. I wish that is provided for them. And look how small the flame is. It is barely there, and that is a brand new candle. Okay, it is not a used candle, it's a brand new candle. I do that with every group, every individual person that I read, and the flame is barely there. Let me move it just a tidbit closer. I put it far away because, you know, sometimes the cars fly off and I don't want them getting burned because of the candle, but yeah. So there's good things coming for them, okay? I don't see them flopping, but like I said, it is still bittersweet. So there's light, but it's barely there, okay? Let me move it back. Because like I said, sometimes the cars fly out and I don't want it to get caught in there. Okay, we have Sacred Heart. Passion, love, spiritual communication. Okay, several things here. I see Antoine, I see him praying to God, whoever God is to him, right? Whoever that is to him. I see him praying with God. I see Seunghan as well. And it looks like sometimes they do have communication with Seunghan. They still do. Of course, they don't make that public because, well, the OT6, the people that want RIIZE to, you know, be 6, the ones that did not want Seunghan to come back into the group, they will go nuclear again if they find out. And now that Seunghan has debuted, well, they don't want to make trouble for him. But either way, they miss Seunghan, they wish him the best, and Seunghan wishes them the best. But it looks like Seunghan, though, he will answer text calls and stuff like that, but it looks like he keeps everything very brief with them. For the same reasons, though, he doesn't want to bring trouble to them, and well, at this point, he's afraid to bring trouble on himself. Enchanted Forest, mystery, magic, excitement. Even though RIIZE is now only 6, of course, the members, they still want to be successful, right? RIIZE did not come from, you know, a survival show. They came the good old-fashioned way, you know. They trained, they took tests, and they debuted. So, of course, they are hoping that good things come to them. There's a little bit of excitement, but once again, there's still that bitter, sweet happiness. Because some of them, they still feel that Seunghan should be there. Seunghan should have not been punished for, well, being human. And some of them feel that, you know, SM gives the Korean fans way too much. Eternal Dance. We have movement, wheel of life, path of least resistance. Basically, this is the wheel of fortune in this deck, okay? So, like I said, I don't see RIIZE flopping. I do see them being successful. But here's the thing, there's still going to be some resistance in the Western market. The US market, the United States market, is the one that's going to be the most resistance. There's still going to be those that are going to be fan of RIIZE, okay? Some people, they learn about RIIZE as a 6-member group, so they may not be aware of what happened with Seunghan. Some started off as OT7 and decided to still support RIIZE and support Seunghan. But there are still a great amount of people that are going to be like, nope, not at all. Not at all. After what happened with Seunghan, that is it. No more RIIZE. So there's still going to be a lot of resistance here in the United States. Some resistance in Europe, but not that much. It looks like over time it will decrease. But yeah, Southeast Asia, it looks like there's still going to be a pretty big group. Okay, they're still going to be very big. Very well loved. Peace. Dissolving unwanted or disturbing thoughts. It looks like eventually complete peace is going to come for RIIZE. And for Seunghan too, okay? For Seunghan too. From time to time, Seunghan does find himself thinking, oh, what would have happened if I had stayed with RIIZE? What would have happened? But eventually, it looks like that peace is going to come. For all 6 members and for Seunghan. But it's going to take a while though. This is not a matter, we have the dream. Yeah, it's not a matter of, 7 days or 7 months from now. It may take years, but eventually they will get there. Okay. We have eternal love, happiness, harmony, fulfillment. There will always be that appreciation of the members towards Seunghan and Seunghan towards the members, because at the end of the day, well, they all debuted together, they trained together. Delusional fans, they cannot take that away from them, so there will always be that appreciation. And like I said, eventually there will be peace. They will come to terms with what happened and they will be able to move on from it, but it's gonna take some time. And we have the tree of life, fertility, creativity, destiny, magical blessings. So yes, like I said, I don't see RIIZE flopping. I do see them winning awards, okay? I do see that. They seem to be Asian awards though. I don't see Western awards for them. And I don't think they have won any Western awards. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I don't follow RIIZE, so I'm not sure. But yeah, it looks like, yes, good things are still gonna come for them, okay? And at least in Korea, they're still gonna be good. You know what? This deck is catching my attention. What do you want to say? When it comes to RIIZE, what do you want to tell us? Fool's embrace, transmuting pain. Transmuting, that is basically an advanced word. It means to change something to another thing. So to those OT7 fans, RIIZE, all of them are saying thank you for your support towards Seunghan, towards us, but it is time to move on. It is painful to move on, but what is done is done. What happened. Maybe RIIZE is saying, maybe we can talk SM into doing a collab with Seunghan. Maybe 5 years from now when, things have cooled down even more. But yeah, it's time to move on. We had the Netcaster preparations come to fruition. Yeah. We can be crying about things that happen in the past all the time, as painful as they are. We have to move on. And I see preparations. I see RIIZE in the studio, making music, practicing. We have Horseman, Hero of Change. And we have First Breath, Beginner's Mind. Beginner's Mind, interesting. Okay, hold on. I will get to that one because I see new jeans in there and I will explain that. But with the first one, Horseman, Hero of Change. Okay, once again, it's time to move on. Just move on. I mean, whether by force or, because they finally accepted their fate. RIIZE has moved on, and once again, I see them in the studio practicing vocals, practicing their dance and stuff like that. They are hoping that with what happened with Seunghan, more people are more aware of the things that idols have to put up with. That's one thing. And also they're hoping that, more people hopefully change their ways when it comes to being fans. They're hoping that, and that's a very big ask, but they are hoping that people realize how much idols hurt. And they are hoping that eventually when, if this were to happen again to somebody else, like, old pictures come up, old relationships come up, that the fans don't overreact and that they realize that idols are human. And RIIZE is very aware that that is a very big ask, especially from the Korean, Chinese, Asian fans. They know that that is a big ask, but a man can hope. I keep hearing that a man can hope that things change. Now, here with First Breath and Beginner's Mind, I see New Jeans, and it looks like RIIZE has been paying attention to New Jeans. Now, of course, each company has different ways of, treating their idols. Some are okay-ish, because no company is perfect, and some are just terrible. SM falls under the terrible category, especially when it comes to, giving idol freedoms. They are very limited with the freedoms that they are allowed to have. Here, I see RIIZE being a little worried for future trainees, future, bands that are going to debut. Especially now with the whole New Jeans thing, SM Entertainment is notoriously known for their slave contracts, so they are a little afraid that, they're gonna try to find some sort of loophole and make the contracts longer, make them even more restrictive because of what is going on with New Jeans, to dissuade their current idols and future idols to do what New Jeans is doing, and that is to trying to break away from the company. Very interesting. Okay, let me grab this one. It's catching my attention. Let's see. Let's see. What do you have to say? We have Innocence, okay. Control, excuse me. The Creator. And Abundance. Okay. Okay. When the whole situation with Seunghan happened, one thing that the members had to really learn was control of their emotions, even though they would slip, right? Sometimes, especially at the airports, when they're tired, they're sad, and the fans are in their faces all the time, and the paparazzi, it's difficult, and the mask may slip. But one thing that they have learned is to really be in control, to wait to get home, to let whatever they're feeling out, whether it's anger, sadness. They have learned that. When Seunghan left, it almost felt like debuting all over again because they were 6. The group changed. Which is very interesting. And they are hoping that, what happened with them doesn't happen with another group. Now, one cannot remain innocent in life. It's very difficult, right, to remain innocent. But they are hoping, especially now that, companies are debuting children, let's be honest. They're leaning more towards teenagers and children. Sure, they might have an adult or two, but they're leaning more towards children, especially with how companies are now. They're hoping that they're able to retain their innocence a little bit longer. Now, here with the Creator in Abundance, once again, I see more albums, I see more music. So yeah, like I said, RIIZE, I don't see them flopping, but it looks like in Southeast Asia, that is mostly going to be their biggest success. What else? The 9 of Wands. Defenses are up constantly. I just heard that their defenses are constantly up. It makes them worry a little bit. I mean, idols, they already have very limited privacy. But with what happened with Seunghan, it makes them worry even more. that their privacy, one way or the other, they could be hacked or something could be exposed. And I don't see anything serious, okay? But they're just worried that, there might be hacks some way or another. And you know what? Some of them are a little afraid to fall in love because they saw what happened with Seunghan. And also, they saw what happened with Karina Ababespa. I mean, she had to write an apology letter for having a boyfriend. Because once again, delusional cycles went nuclear. So it has made them afraid to like somebody, to fall in love. Because, well, they might be kicked out or basically bullied into stepping out. The whole group can suffer, their whole career can suffer. So yeah, it's a constant fight or flight. We have the lovers. They hope that eventually, once they retire, then they are able to fall in love, but not right now. It will be very scary to fall in love right now. There's a 5 of Swords. Yeah, once again, they don't want history repeating itself on one of them. The King of Pentacles. Yeah, once again, I don't see RIIZE flopping, but at the same time here with falling in love. It makes them worry that, they have to wait until they retire to be able to fall in love, to have a relationship. But at the same time, they worry, what if we get too old by then? And nobody wants us. Or because we did not have a relationship before, we are not mature enough now to have a relationship. Yeah, 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, like I said, I don't see them flopping. I mean, hopefully SM is paying them well, right? Because once again, SM is not known as one of the companies that treats their idols their best. So I don't know what the pay is, but hopefully they're getting paid what they're worth. We had the Strength card and the Queen of Cups. Yeah, like I said, behind the scenes, even though Seunghan tries to keep everything brief, once again, in order to not harm them and to not harm his career, the few brief moments that he does talk with them, especially in person, excuse me, he's encouraging them, do your best. I mean, obey the rules to the best of your ability, because even when you obey rules, things can be taken out of context and stuff like that. So just do your best to obey. Pray to the higher powers, whoever that is to you, and you'll be fine. You'll be okay. So it looks like Seunghan, whenever they do talk, he is encouraging them, wishing them the best. And you know what? This one is catching my attention. What do you want to say? We have the 3 of Swords. I mean, there will always be haters no matter what, okay? We have the Emperor. There will be those that are going to be defending RIIZE no matter what, okay? So yeah, nobody is safe from criticism. Whether it's their music, the way they look, the way they dress. There will always be those, okay? We have the King of Swords. SM might do something if it gets too much. Because, they already went through one nightmare. And they don't want to lose money. So, if it gets too much, though. But even then, I don't see SM doing a lot. But at least, they'll do something. I guess something will be better than nothing. We have Judgment and the 5 of Pentacles. What was Seunghan's position? Let's see. Seunghan, a dancer, vocalist. Okay. The, even though both RIIZE and Seunghan would like everybody to move on, there will be those that are gonna be saying that, you know what? Yeah, they sound good, but you know what? Ever since Seunghan left, they don't sound the same. You can tell that they're missing Seunghan and stuff like that, okay? So there will always be those, unfortunately, that are just gonna bring Seunghan back, one way or the other. Eventually, Seunghan will not be brought up anymore when it comes to RIIZE, but it looks like it's still gonna happen. Like I said, it might take years, but eventually everybody will move on, okay? Kind of like Stray Kids. I don't know if you're familiar with the K-pop group Stray Kids, but they started out as 9, and then they debuted, but one member left. So everybody thought, oh no, Stray Kids is doomed. But now Stray Kids is a very worldwide known group, very successful. So eventually Seunghan will be a thing of the past when it comes to RIIZE, but it's gonna take a while. Okay, I am not seeing anything else, so you know what, to close this up, I'm gonna go down the list of members. Okay, the remaining 6. Okay, I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna see if there's anything that they would like to say. Okay, all right, in no particular order, that's just the order I wrote them down. So Shotaro, to close, is there anything you would like to say? Thank you. That was quick. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Wands. Okay, well, here's a little bit of advice. Conflicts, difficult times will always come, but at the end of the day, look up to the heavens, have hope, and eventually, it'll pass. It's difficult, but it'll pass. Just like this situation that RIIZE had to go through, but it'll pass. So don't lose hope. Okay. Unsuk, anything you would like to say to close this up? Woohoo! Okay. Did one fall down? Hold on. Let me check. I think one of them fell down. Oh no. Okay. I had to make sure. So 3 came out. Let's see. Let me put this here. So 3 came out. We have the 6 of Wands, but it's in reverse. The 5 of Pentacles also in reverse. And the 2 of Swords in reverse. Interesting. Okay, well. Okay, interesting. Unsuk is saying sometimes, sometimes you have to make a decision, one or the other. There are times you are not allowed to make that decision. Sometimes you just have to follow what everybody else is doing, or maybe what your boss is telling you. It may feel like a great loss, but take that as a lesson. Take it as a lesson. Sometimes lessons are tough to swallow. Sometimes they are. But in the long run, well, it's a lesson. It'll make you stronger, and, well, it would lead you to good things. You may not see it now, but in the long run, you will see it. Okay? And I know I am bringing up Seunghan a lot, but that is what I am picking up, and you're always free to not believe what I'm saying. But now that a while has passed, Unsuk is saying is Seunghan has stayed in the group. He can see that Seunghan would have been very miserable. Okay? And whether we like it or not, well, Seunghan, his debut was successful. So he had his great moment. His Wheel of Fortune moment. This card is catching my attention again, the Eternal Dance card. So Seunghan had his moment, his triumphant moment, and well, RIIZE has had its triumphant moments as well. So sometimes that is what you have to do. Maybe that's the way it was meant to be. We never know, right? But sometimes that's what we have to do. Okay. Seunghan, what do you want to say, dear, to close this off? Thank you. Okay. Knight of Pentacles. I just heard one day at a time. One day at a time. We had the Seven of Wands. And the Fool card. Yeah, whatever you do, take it one day at a time. Once again, there will be conflicts, but in the end, there will be help. He's also saying, okay, what happened with Seunghan was horrible, but you know what? Maybe, just maybe there's a reason behind it. Maybe there is. And maybe one day we'll understand it. Maybe one day we will, okay? And he's also saying thank you for those of you that try to help us, whether it was sending us positive message when the whole Seunghan situation happened, for sending Seunghan also positive messages, for cheering us on. Thank you. And he's also saying, you know what, maybe in the future we may feel like fools for crying over what happened, for feeling bad, but once again, one day at a time, and perhaps one day we'll understand it. Okay, next one. Who's next? One bin. Okay, one bin. Let's see. To close this off, what do you have to say, young man? Thank you. Okay, this one. Let's see. We have the Empress. And I just heard be happy when you can be happy. We had the Page of Wands. And you know what? Also be sad when you can be sad. It's okay. It's a human emotion. It happens. And we had the Four of Cups. And also I just heard don't cry over spilled milk. Things happen in life. Some things are good, some things not so good. But we cannot be stuck in the past. It may hurt to move on, but what else are we gonna do? The sun does not stop. It continues to go down and rise up every day. The earth doesn't stop moving because, well, we decided to give up. We gotta keep going. And eventually we'll see the light. We will see the light and we will be okay. Okay, so what do you have to say, dear, to close this off? Okay, we have the Eight of Swords. And I just heard help will come. I just heard that. The Six of Cups. Excuse me. And the Eight of Wands. Once again, help will come. In your darkest moments, whatever it may be, right? Sometimes it feels like there's no hope, but help will come. It may take a while sometimes, but it will come. You're not alone. Well, I don't know how many of you believe in a higher power, but from what I am seeing, this gentleman does believe in a higher power. So he feels that there will always be a higher power, a good one. Don't lean towards the dark. Don't go there. Then you will definitely be messed up for life if you go towards that path. But there's always a higher being in the light that is going to help you. It may take a while, but help is there. Okay, don't give up. If we give up, then we're truly lost. Okay, but let's keep going. And we have Antoine. I'm sorry if I'm saying the names so weird, but names are tricky in all languages, okay? So let's see, Antoine. Antoine. Okay, Antoine, sorry. To close off, Antoine, what do you have to say? We have, okay, the Two of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and I just heard life is a balancing act. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And we have the Nine of Wands, and sometimes you have to stay on standby. But once again, don't give up. Don't lose hope, okay? Life goes on, whether we like it or not. Some people come, some people go. And during those tough times, you will see who is truly by your side. That is something he has personally learned. I mean, he hasn't been an idol for long, but what happened was a strong situation, and that's where he saw those that are truly there for him and those that are just there for their own gain, whether it's money or just street credit, just so they can say, oh, I was there helping, but you know, they were not helping at all, but they just say they were. So once again, life is a balancing act. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, but we cannot give up. And help is there, okay? If somebody goes, let them go. All right, guys. That is all I have for you when it comes to RIIZE. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate it. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.